Welcome to Jacksonville, Florida, the largest city in the Sunshine State. Meet 13-year-old Tristyn Bailey, a loyal friend, a gifted athlete, and a lover of Starbucks. She went to Patriot Oaks Academy in St. Johns, Florida, along with other gifted teens. She was a dedicated cheerleader and loved it so much that she decided to continue doing it throughout high school and college. Everything changed one morning when the little girl was found missing by her parents.
This is the photo the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office wants you to take a close look at. Tristyn Bailey is missing. Deputies say she was last seen during the overnight hours at the Amenities Center in the Durbin Crossing subdivision. But the search is now expanding to a nearby park, and that is where Brianna Ray Turner joins us live with the latest. Brianna?
Yeah, Jeff, I'm here at Veterans Park in St. Johns County. Now, I just want to go quickly over here because the search group, they're volunteering. These are community members from the Durbin community. Now, take a look if you could zoom in a little bit more, DJ. They're about to start their search right now. They're trying to find Tristyn Bailey, 13-year-old girl who was reported missing by her family this morning at 1 a.m. at the Durbin Amenity Center. Now, again, so many families out here. I talked with one family who says their kids went to school with Bailey, and they still can't believe something like this happened. They've been living here for about 12 years now, and they said never has a child been missing. The St. Johns County Sheriff's Office says Bailey was last wearing a white cheerleading skirt and a dark-colored shirt. So if you have any information about the current whereabouts or have seen Bailey, please contact your nearest local law enforcement agency.
On May 9th, Sunday morning, Mother's Day, her mom and dad were already up making breakfast. Everything was going well, and they had no reason to suspect that something happened to their Tristyn. Mrs. Bailey went to wake up her daughter around 10 a.m., but to her surprise, she wasn't in her room. The parents went on high alert, and the mom reported the missing daughter to police. The community that they lived in had no history when it came to crimes. They lived in Durbin Crossing, an exceptional community that is reminiscent of days gone by, when kids played outside and laughter echoed through the streets. This is known as a neighborhood that doesn't see a lot of police activity or crime. Definitely no kidnapping or murder. Being very tight-knit, everyone knew each other, and they acted like they were friends. Judging from all the images, all of the people look like they're part of an upper-middle class and are well-mannered. So her mom reports her daughter missing, and the entire community gets involved at that point. Investigators later said they were so impressed by the support of the neighborhood. People were making flyers and helping to find the girl any way they could. Finally, on one security camera, Tristyn Bailey was seen walking in the street around 1:15 a.m. She must have snuck out of the house because that would be too late an hour for her parents to let her go outside. She was walking through the parking lot of an amenities center that they had in the area with one of her friends, 14-year-old Aiden Fucci. Different security cameras showed them walking through the neighborhood and into a wooded area of town. A classmate of Tristyn and Fucci, whose name isn't mentioned, probably because they are a minor, told St. John's investigators that the pair had been hanging out at his house and left together around 1 a.m. It seemed the two wanted a little bit of walking in the moonlight. Nothing happened for some time, or at least the security cameras didn't catch anything. But 3 hours later, investigators saw Aiden walking out of the wooded area, but this time he was alone. No sign of Tristyn. After seeing the footage, police went directly to Aiden's house, and they took him to the station for questioning, right after asking him to show them the route that he and Tristyn took. While in the police car, he took out his phone, took multiple pictures of himself, and added the caption, "Hey guys, has anybody seen Tristyn lately?"
We're having fun in a f***ing cop car.
Yep. Tristyn.
What's up, guys?
Yep.
Tristyn, if you f***ing walk out the damn...
When you see this in a month.
Fucci's cousin reported that he was usually at her house multiple times a week. The female minor told investigators the last time she had seen her cousin was Thursday, May the 1st, but said that she had spoken to Fucci after he sent the photo of himself from the backseat of the patrol car. The photo was quickly shared among all their classmates. When asked if she had ever witnessed any odd behavior from Fucci, detectives say his young cousin stated that Fucci once told her that he might go to jail sometime in his life. But then he suddenly had a change of attitude. While still in the car, reports state that Fucci at one point began crying and punched the back of the seat, saying, "I'm going to get arrested for this bullshit." It seemed that he wanted to appear innocent, But when the police searched his bedroom, they found pieces of clothing with the girl's blood on them. And apart from that, they also found different satanic drawings in his room, disturbing images of girls with X's on their genitals and their limbs being cut off. A truly horrific sight. When asked why it took him so long to get home, Fucci told detectives that he walked around alone for a while, telling deputies that he kept walking until he got home between 3 and 3:30 a.m. He said he needed to clear his head. After a 16-hour search, her body was found.
Year-old girl out of St. Johns County ends in tragedy. Police believe they have found the body of Tristyn Bailey Sunday evening after she was reported missing that morning.
Our Renata DiGregorio live now at Bailey's school. Renata.
Lou, Keitha, we are at Patriot Oaks Academy, and this is where there will be extra grief counselors at the school today because this is where Tristyn Bailey went to school. Now, the Sheriff's Department says her body was found in the immediate area of Veterans Park. That's where they called the press conference just yesterday. A volunteer search group had just gathered at the Durbin Crossing North Amenity Center, which is where Bailey was last seen on midnight Saturday. But before they began their search, the police called that press conference at the Veterans Park. The Amenity Center posted on Twitter that it will be closed until further notice. The Sheriff's Department says they are still investigating, and one of Bailey's close friends and cheer teammates says she talked with Bailey on Snapchat around 10 p.m. Saturday, and that was just hours before she was last seen.
It makes me really sad that the last time I saw her was at cheer.
And again, there will be grief counselors at Bailey School here at Patriot Oaks Academy. A lot of people reaching out online, even finding Bailey on TikTok, Instagram, and on social media, and saying that they really hope that justice is served. Of course,
One of the neighbors who was out jogging decided to take a different route that day. As he was doing his workout, he saw the girl's body. It was in a bushy area near the cul-de-sac of Settlestone Drive, next to the lake. He called police immediately at the sight of the horrific image. Police arrived in no time and upon investigating saw that the girl had been stabbed numerous times. Police took the body in and called the parents to identify and to see if it was their daughter. Unfortunately, it was. She was fully dressed, so there was no suspicion of rape or anything like that. So how did the girl's body end up in that area with multiple stab wounds? Who would do that to a 13-year-old girl? The community quickly finds out what happened to her, and of course, they get involved. They started looking at personal security footage, trying to find out who the killer was, and working hand in hand with the police. Because her body was found near the lake, authorities spent days searching the body of water. They didn't say exactly what they were searching for, but it was assumed that they were looking for the murder weapon. Aiden, being the primary suspect, was then sent to juvenile detention in St. John. His first court hearing was via Zoom, and footage of it had been released online. The judge said there was probable cause to keep the boy in detention, and also added that he would remain there until the end of May when they would be able to get the case going. After the boy's detainment, one of the investigators that had worked in the area specifically for over a decade said that he feels very confident about the case. He also added that it would be prosecuted to the fullest. This meant that they were convinced that they had the right suspect, and that he did the horrible act of stabbing Tristyn multiple times and taking her life. There was no doubt about it in the minds of the investigators. News of her death broke the boundaries of the community and spread nationwide. People were taking to social media to express their regret, but also their disgust toward Aiden. They used platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter to voice their own personal opinions. Of course, there were others who decided to take Aiden's side, saying that she deserved it and that the police should free him. How could someone root for the murderer? It just doesn't make sense to us. Others wrote different captions along the lines of, "This is what I gotta do to get famous?" Meaning they needed to kill someone to be known throughout the country. They were associating this horrible act with a way to become viral. Besides that, others were trying to say that more people were involved, like his friends, and that Tristyn had been assaulted prior to murder. So many false rumors were going around the internet that police had to release an official statement to separate fact from fiction. Investigators then tried to figure out the motive, if he really did it, of course. The kids went to a very good school. It was in the top 5% across the United States. They came from very good families and had, presumably, an exceptional education. So what led to the horrific murder? Well, Aiden didn't actually grow up there. He moved with his mom just 6 months prior to the murder. So you can say that even though he was enrolled in the same school and lived in the same neighborhood as the others, he didn't necessarily have the same morals and values. According to the interview of one police officer, his opinion was that the 14-year-old kid was nothing more and nothing less than a cold-blooded killer. But momentarily, Aiden was innocent until proven guilty. Later in the investigation, the boy, despite still being a minor, was taken out of juvenile detention and arrested as an adult, pending his trial. When asked by reporters if Aiden would share detention space with the adults, one officer said that he will not, momentarily, even though he will be trialed as an adult. He will be kept separate from other inmates. But as you'll see later, that wasn't the case for long. His charges consisted of first-degree murder, a sign that the entire trial will be treated with the utmost seriousness. At that moment, it had been speculated that if he were to be found guilty, he would face life in prison with no possibility of parole. Of course, many people thought that that was inhumane, even though what he did to that 13-year-old girl was unforgivable. You may be wondering, why did they decide to go so hard on him? Remember when we mentioned that little Tristyn was stabbed multiple times? Well, it came out that that number was incredibly high. Tristyn Bailey was stabbed 114 times. The killer was showing no mercy or remorse. Those were 113 opportunities to realize that what he was doing was wrong and stop immediately. The number of wounds distinctly indicate a clear purpose to kill. Upon searching the lake, divers eventually found the murder weapon. It was a typical folding button knife, and they were convinced that Aiden used it to stab